The US markets are closed for the day, but that doesn't mean that the excitement is over. I actually want to focus on Bitcoin and XRP, just the technicals that we see in front of us, and maybe give a little bit more commentary on what we could possibly expect going forward from here. So I'm going to share the charts with you, share what I find of interest to you, including an XRP price prediction and a Bitcoin price prediction based on what we could currently see for right now, moving forward from here. So let me toss these up here. We'll kick things off with Bitcoin, and we're looking at the daily chart right now for Bitcoin, currently sitting at 93,228. And there's a few important things that we want to make sure that we're paying attention to when we look at this. So the moving averages, we'll kick things off with those, then I'll get to my specific technicals on this. So this pink line coming up here is the 50-day simple moving average. We're down below it. That could be near-term bearishness. And we're down below the 20 as well. That's also near-term bearishness. And you'll notice, rather than our candles riding on top of the 20 when we were in bullish situation here, at least in the near term, once again, we're talking about short term, look how we start to dangle off the 20. We kind of peekabooed up above it, got an engulfing candle. I said we'll probably sell down a little bit. So far, we did. So right now, near-term bearishness, and we do still have the 200, which is all the way down here, and that's going to be very critical to what I have to tell you moving forward from here. So let me reset that view, and we'll put the technicals up here so we can talk about a little bit of what we're seeing. So I have some key Fibonacci extension values that are on here, and down here at about 72,000 is really where we want to focus. And then we also want to take a look at the fact that we have about a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder on this thing. That's an unconfirmed head and shoulders pattern. So what we're looking for confirmation is to come down this way, to hit our heads off of this support, turn resistance, and then drop back down this way. So that's what we're looking for in order for that to take place. Now, will we see it? Not too sure at the moment. Now, mind you, here's a little bit clearer view of that head and shoulders, once again, that we could potentially see. Now, if I put up these two trend lines, what you'll see from that is the distance from neckline up to what we'd have for the head for this is that price target value that we'd have. And look how nicely that aligns with this orange 200 day coming up and where that sits right there. And so that happens to be at about 74,000-ish. Let me actually put this out here for you, then you can see it a little bit more easily. There we go, 74,519. So if we get the head and shoulders, watch for that pull back to the 200 day. That could be down in the mid to low 70s. And we might even peekaboo down below that a little bit. If with the head and shoulders is confirmed, then that would be the price target that we could see. And then there's some critical places in between, such as 85.6, 78.7. Those are going to be critical for us for watching those prices down here. But this 38.2 that you have, which happens to be at about 72,000, also aligns with where we found significant resistance in the past. That could lead to significant support, and a price like this from the head and shoulders pattern would most definitely set us up for excellent support there as well. Now, about this diagonal line coming across the screen, just in case you haven't seen my channel before or you haven't seen my recent videos, let me reset the view again, and we're going to hide my technicals. No, we'll be all right with that. There we go. This is where the trend line starts. These are the previous peaks from 2021, and you can see it took us all the way up until 2024, end of year 2024, to finally break over the top of that, and now we might see a little bit of price settling. We're going to have to find out. We do have prices along the bottoms going up with the momentum coming down on a weekly basis, so that could be part of that settling. But once again, we're still well into bullish territory, and we want to be watchful for what we see with that 200 day. And you might also notice, if I hide my technicals here, what we have for the 20-week and the 50-week, which also happen to be right at about that 70,000 to about 80,000. So that could also further that support that we have by having those moving averages also there. So between now and Inauguration Day, and probably a few weeks following that, with the crypto-friendly administration moving in, more crypto-friendly than what we've seen, this could be a very good thing for the crypto space. We could be seeing some near-term pain due to some of the other economic catalysts that are out there right now, such as higher inflation and then also a more stable labor market. So the rate cuts that we were expecting to come along, not necessarily coming on, so that cheap and easy money that would allow for further risk asset purchases, not so much showing up right now. We can even see it in the markets such as the S&P 500 and what we have in the NASDAQ 100. And I said yesterday in my video about IWM tracking the Russell 2000 stocks that we'd probably see more pain there and some underperformance. While that happens to be the case, and that was the case yesterday, And so non-farm payrolls, unemployment coming up on Friday is also going to be fairly critical to watch. So with that said, let's move over into XRP. There we go. So for XRP, check this out. This is the bull pennant that I've been talking about. And when I started talking about it, we only had 2 touches, top and bottom. We didn't have actual confirmation because remember from your geometry classes, maybe you do, maybe you don't, through any 2 points exists exactly one straight line, but it does take 2 points in order to define that line. So you can draw a trend line anywhere off of 2 points. It's that third touch that finally makes the trend. So we got the third touch on the bottom of this thing back on December the 30th. So that set this support line that you see here. And as for the resistance, we found out that rejection ultimately came on January the 4th. Haven't been able to get over it, but we're also starting to dance in between this top trend line that's on here and the 20 period moving average that happens to be just down below that, maybe giving us that small short-term death cross with 20 crossing down over the 50. It has yet to be seen. You can see that buying pressure coming in. So far, salvaging it, need to stay on top of the 20, need to stay on top of the 50. This 50 can act as significant support. We haven't seen it in a while. If markets continue to pull back, if Bitcoin pulls back, we see a withdrawal from risk assets. XRP probably will go with it. Watch this bottom trend line for that confirmation. So what we can see, and I'll get to the bullish part of this here in a moment because this is a bull pennant, but I do just want to talk about pulling back in the near term just in case we do. Falling down through the 50, again, it's just like what we saw before with hitting your head on that resistance and then having it confirmed and then falling further from there. And then we also have this trend line down below to also catch us from that point in time. I know when that's happening. I got to turn my magnet tool off. There we go. Now when I go to draw, it's going to turn out cleaner for us. Up, bounce, and then reject. So that's what it would look like if we're going to get a further sell, so watch for that. Now let's turn to talk about the happy stuff, the bullish stuff from XRP. I was saying that we see $3 to maybe $4, but honestly, from the bull pennant, if the bull pennant plays out, it's even better than that for my XRP price prediction based off the technicals that you see on these charts. So it turns out whether we go off of the flagpole on this pennant, come on, drawings, there we go. The flagpole that you see on this pennant, or if it's from this consolidation pattern, just the pennant part itself, that actually sets us up with 2 different price targets, a range, if you will, that we were looking for. And I pressed the wrong button. There we go. Boom. There we go. So that actually sets us up for a range of prices, a smaller price target from the consolidation, a much larger price target from this flagpole that you see. So let me put that up there for you. And you can actually see there's the flagpole. That'll be the diagonal line that you see over here. And then this vertical dotted line that you see is also over here. Now, mind you, these are the lowest values that you would get because really it's from wherever the breakout moment happens to be. So if that breakout happens more recently, you can see it pushes up the price target. If it takes longer to happen, well, then you get a lower price target from it. So when I have it over here, this would be the lowest that you would get if the bull pennant plays out. So 316, almost 317 from where we're at, which is significant upside from where we happen to be right now. It's close to a 50% upside from where we're at now. We'll call it 40 to 50%. Now, mind you, if instead it's the flagpole, again, the lowest that you would get from the flagpole if the bullish pennant plays out. Now, remember, wherever your breakout moment happens to be. So it could be as soon as here and you would go up higher to 476, or it could be later like I had before. The lowest that you would get from that is about 445. So that's the range, about 316 to 445 for XRP if the bull pennant plays out, and it most certainly has that potential to do so. A few things that we want to pay attention to for XRP. One is that there's a lot of talk about ETF approval right now. So that could actually make the next several months pretty exciting, even if this bull pennant doesn't have that amount of time in order for that confirmation or refutation for that pattern to play out. This one comes to a head, according to what we have here, at the end of January. We'll have that answer if this bull pennant's actually going to be confirmed or just fall apart. We're going to have to watch and see. But ETF talk, especially official ETF talk from the governmental side of things or the regulatory side of things, things that would cast a positive light on an ETF sort of approval situation for XRP is going to be absolutely enormous, and the price is probably going to skyrocket. And then we have the inauguration day itself and the weeks that follow. And we can't ignore the economic reports themselves that underlie this stuff when it comes to the finances. Are we going to get the cheap money from the Fed? Are we going to see more tightening in the labor market? Are we going to see more loosening in the labor market? What's going to go on with inflation? Is inflation going to keep on ticking up on us? Because if so, that means less cheap money, and that could be a pinching down, if you will, on risk assets, including XRP. Now, mind you, there's a phrase, XRP army, for a reason. There's a lot of support that's behind this, and that can be something that really does also help prop up those prices, that people aren't just going to let go and sell for whatever prices as easily on something like this. Those diamond hands that we heard so much about back in 2021. So for XRP, 316 to 449. For Bitcoin, you could have around 72 to 75,000. That's my Bitcoin price prediction, my XRP price prediction. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed my commentary. If you want to see more of what I have to offer, check out the link in the description for the Patreon. Also, when you get to the Patreon, I should say, head on over to the Discord. That's where you're going to find everything. And then also in the description is a link for Stockmo Academy. Stockmo is a personal friend of mine who developed some top-notch courses as a 17-year veteran in education. With my doctorate in education, I vetted this course for technical analysis, and I can tell you that it is legit. It is top-notch, and it has the bread recipe trading strategy in it as well, which is super easy to set up, super easy to follow. You can see it doesn't tell you when to buy and sell, but you can see when the buy signals are. That would be a time where you could expect to see that price start to move up, and sell signals where, again, doesn't tell you to sell, but it could be those places where you could potentially find as selling to be more to your advantage. Guys, you can get access to that course and that strategy using the link down in the description for Stockmo Academy. Make sure you type in the code word DOCTOR, D-O-C-T-O-R, when you sign up, and it's going to give you a massive discount on that course and the bread recipe trading strategy. The testimonials coming out, people are covering the cost of that in as little as one trade. And guys, I think that you're going to love it too. Thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.